that talented.
I'm live now, and hopefully I stay on here because my fiber network seems to be giving me a little issue. And but we are here, and Jimmy and Joe here. We are here with Christine Beckwith, nationally recognized mortgage coach. She is actually the COO and president of 2020 Vision for Success Coaching, and this is like one of the fastest growing coaching companies in our industry around. And she has an amazing event coming up, and we're lucky to actually squeak out a little bit of her time, because I can imagine you got an event coming up in just a few days, and we're able to kind of get a little bit of your time and share what you're going to be doing, and just get, tap into a little bit of your knowledge. And I know you and Jimmy know each other a little more from working in the past together, and I've seen a lot of your stuff and stuff you've done with Jason Frazier, and a lot of the information you guys have shared has helped me, little old me, in my little business. And so where do we go today?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
I got to tell you, it's a pleasure. It's they talk about influencers, between LinkedIn and Instagram and everything else, but Christine is in a category unto herself because of how she's grown up in the industry and learned so much, and really by giving and helping other people, I believe has really led to her such huge success. And she continues to help so many people. I was at the top of the list at one time too, and she's just really a giver and a helper. And I had the pleasure of getting to work with Buffy, because I had heard about her for so many years and finally got the chance to work with her, and it was life-changing. So, I want to introduce Christine Beckwith, really the sales coach, company consulting, published author, keynote speaker, industry leader, podcast, Mortgage X. It's one of the top ones out there. She truly influences our industry, and I'm really happy to have you here, Christine.
Oh, well, you guys are so nice, and thank you so much. And it's wearing all those titles sounds overwhelming when I'm listening to them. I'm just manic by nature, so I, have superpowers. I'll just start crazy superpowers. I'm just going to lead with authenticity right out of the gates. But I love what I do, and I have been around an awful long time. This is my 33rd year. And I always say that, I started when I was 5, but you can do the math. And I just have a passion for it, like you guys.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to kind of talk to you about this amazing coaching company that you've started, because I have seen you influence so many different people at so many different companies, and you continue to do that, but you also started a business right before this whole virus thing started, and you were really ramping up. So, what is one of the really positive things that has come out of your coaching business that you've started, and that you didn't expect? I mean, you had so many things, so many plans, and you've worked with so many amazing people, but is there something that happened that you didn't really expect? Because sometimes you get those things without really expecting them, and all of a sudden, boof, wow, that was a really, nail biter, like, wow, that's really cool. So tell me, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, as you say that, I guess the biggest thing that always is something that makes you have an aha moment is when you build something and then people come and consume what you build. And so while you think, you build a business plan and you hope and pray that that's going to happen, it's still like incredibly powerful when it does happen. And so I had a dream to build a consulting firm. When the story really quick, when I sat down with Joe Panabianco, who was the CEO of Annie Mac early in the years when I was starting with his company, now, 15 years ago, he asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up over that steak dinner. And I said, it's funny you say that. I just bought the domain for a website called 2020 Vision for Success. This would be 2006. I owned the domain that our website is on. I owned that for 12 years before I actually made the domain live. So I paid for it annually. So, just a testament to having a dream, finding the right place to launch it, and then, building the product, launching it, and having it make people, come to you and see what it is. I think the biggest thing for me that's been delightful and surprising is to have a belief that what we would do would actually change the lives of the people that would consume our education and our consultation. And that is happening. We're now, in our third year, and we really are affecting incredible change in the businesses of the people that we're with. And so it's just something, it's really something to watch a dream unfold. I pinch myself. It's surreal. I find myself during the week, many times looking around going, wow, like this is really, it's real now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be such a positive, happy feeling to know you influence people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge step to step out from, originating and being in that world for so long. As we all know, it's kind of like the mafia. Once you're in it, you can't get out of it. It's kind of, and so
I still work for the mafia. Don't fool yourself. I'm just now I'm Wendy Rhodes instead of, the main character is all that I am. I literally will tell you that it's scary. I've been asked a lot, because I think that's the thing that intrigues people the most when you do something like this. There was a few things. Number one, if you're going to tell people how to run businesses and you're going to build one in the public eye in a fishbowl, you better damn well do a great job. There was a no failure option for 2020 Vision. And how we operate is kind of, I use the Citibank metaphor. You would never want to get your bank statement or your credit card statement, and we would never accept, as a human race, a dollar of it being wrong in our monthly billing statement. We expect perfection in areas. And so we're consulting bankers and brokers, and you guys are held to pennies of correctness. And so our ability to deliver a business that is what I would call, best in class, platinum level business, everything we do has to be service excellence. And so I knew that that's a tall challenge. And so as I hired from day one all the way to now, we just hired our 44th employee. We have 17 consultants. Yep. And we're big, we're a big company now and growing rapidly. We had 2,804% growth YOY in 2020. Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Well,
That's huge.
One of the things I learned early on from you, that the mortgage industry changes a lot and you have to adapt. So I know you adapt really well. Tell us a little bit how you adapted to less traveling and the COVID situation while scaling and helping grow your business in a crazy market.
Yeah. I think I have always, been proud of the fact that I evolve. I wrote in my book, Wise Eyes, which I wrote between 2006 and 2018 before it was published. One of the chapters is dedicated to, I wanted to basically give away to the world my secrets to my own success in my 30-year career. And one of those things was evolution. I can tell you today, I'm 51 years old, but I weight lift. I now know the world knows I ride a Harley. I have a 28-year-old bike that I've built, stripped to the ground and rebuilt twice. I haven't done it. I've hired people to do it, but that's happened twice. And so I'm from the back roads of New Hampshire. I'm a country girl, and at heart, and I've just never lost sight of that. So like at the core of who I was, even when I had great success in the mortgage industry, I just was always really grounded, on a weekend. Even when I was senior vice president at H&R Block and I had 1,200 employees, my idea of a great Sunday was throwing a backpack on and taking my bike for a 300-mile round trip and just disconnecting completely from the world. So, I think emergent leadership has been in me. I've gone through many changes through the industry. I closed H&R Block Mortgage, put myself out of a job. I literally was the last person standing in the sales nationally for that firm to save shareholder price on Wall Street, of course, because they were a Fortune 500 company. And when you meet imminent death in this world, and you spent 12 years building a company, and you have to start over and rediscover yourself, I knew then when it was happening that I was getting lessons that would be invaluable for my future, because resilience and fortitude, your ability to not be scared when you're looking around a room full of scared people and being the person that can say it's going to be okay. And I found myself in that spot here in March of last year. I was following the Feds really close. We had the zero Fed drop on a Sunday, and I was bringing Barry Habib into the consulting firm. And we had a few hundred people here at that time. And I just really wanted to give them good advice. And the pandemic's playing itself out in the background and, just getting more and more news. And then all of a sudden, it's the beginning of March and I'm waking up and my conversation is a completely different one. Now you're staring back through the lens of a virtual company. And I want to tell you, the attendance rate for the classes we did in the beginning of March went almost to 100%. Wow. Like everybody that was consulting with us, it was like suddenly, it was the quietness in a movie when like just all the background noise shuts off. And we know that's how March was for us. We forget even now, because the pandemic has evolved and we're back moving around again, that we had our dining room tables stuffed with Costco's and Sam's because we thought we were going into the second, World War or whatever was going to happen. And so I knew I had a moment, I don't mind sharing, where I got really emotional one morning, early in March. I was about to broadcast to the whole firm. And I was going to give economic news because there was economic volatility. And at the same time, I knew I needed to have a bigger message than that, which is really what leadership is about. And I took my moment because I felt really anxious and I felt emotional. I was scared for my family. I was scared for my parents, my child, the same way that everybody else was. And yet, when you wear a leadership hat and you step up and you say you're going to be that person, when it comes to things like this, you discover how big of a leader you are or how important your role is. Because when you turn the cameras on and you have hundreds of people staring back at you from their homes and their businesses are on the line and their families are, and they don't know what to do. I just said to myself in that moment in the bathroom when I was feeling emotional, like, now's the time. Like, I can either be part of this story that helped lead these people through this time, or I'm going to be part of the crowd. And this is what you have been trained for your whole life. So go to work. And I went to work, and every day we held daily calls at that point, which was not a normal schedule. And just everybody came. For weeks, everybody came because it was the only place in everybody's world that we were able. And so for me, the pandemic ended up being a blessing because it actually put a spotlight on what it is we do. Mm-hmm. And it allowed me to have a place on an emotional level with them so that they knew like this was their safe haven and they could come. And they were asking real business questions. It was emotional. Like, I can remember one of those calls looking back and seeing tears in the eyes of men and women on the screen. I'll never forget it. I've wanted to go back into Zoom and pull some of those meetings out because it was so powerful and it was such a moment in time historically. And all I could say to them is like, we're going to be okay. Like, we got to do what we got to do today. And we are in an industry that has the ability to do our work virtually. So let's just kill it. Let's show up and let's do great. So.
Well, it definitely sounds like, that old adage, preparation met opportunity at the perfect time. And for somebody that is so good at adapting, I'm so happy and so excited for your success because you deserve every little bit, from going back to, I think it was you getting your book in Robin Robbins' hands way back then, yep. To now and the success. And, what you've got coming up in the next 2 weeks is really noteworthy because it's almost like a COVID coming out party of the mortgage world coming together. You have some amazing keynote speakers. I'm speaking of your event you're doing in Tampa on June 8th and 9th. Tell us a little bit about your goals for the summit and maybe a little bit about why the industry should even consider attending.
Yeah, thank you. When we started consulting, it won't surprise you that we spent many years strategically analyzing businesses, our competitors. I obviously hired most of my competitors over 2 decades and worked closely for many years with all of them. So I understood their product lines and their offerings, and they have servant hearts, and I admire all of them. Where did we fit into this? I knew that we would be an event holder. We knew that was part of our product offering. We really believe our tagline here is emotional awakening through education. So 2020 vision for success coaching. And, we understand there's an a la carte. We knew this was going to be an enormous consulting firm because we weren't going to build a box and then try to bring people to it and put them in the box. What we wanted everybody to do is to come and tell us what they needed, and just have like the Disneyland, if you would, of professional development. And they would get a wristband, they would come into the park, and they would ride the rides they wanted to ride and needed. And they might not go on it everything, but they might like something a lot and go on it many times. But we were going to be that place where you didn't have the same coach every month. We have 17 experts today that are consulting today. They're coaching, tens, hundreds of hours are happening this week of consulting for our firm. And so the event gave us a place to break bread, to get with our clients, get face-to-face value. We obviously did not do it in 2020. We did do it in 2019. I was saying to Joe before the show started that it was really scary for me the first time I did it. I didn't know who would come. And we filled a grand ballroom back then. And that was heartwarming for me. But I'm going to tell you, and I mean this with all sincerity, we are about to showcase, we will be the convention that sets the standard for the industry on what you should see when you buy a ticket and you go to a show. It's going to be a Las Vegas style show with all the bells and whistles. The food is going to be incredible. The atmosphere is going to be exhilarating. The performances and the actual education that's going to be provided is going to be state of the art. The theme is modern marketer. It's going to be funny. It's going to be fun. We have hilarious videos. We have, heart thumping music. This thing is going to be off the chains. And, the first night of the kickoff reception, it's at the beautiful Tampa Water Street Hotel. And that is one of the most beautiful Marriotts in the nation. And we're going to be in the grand ballroom, but we have a red carpet evening, kind of like the Emmy Awards. We have an award called the Women with Vision Award. 72 women won that award last year. We have about 40 of them coming to receive their trophies on stage. Their CEOs are flying in to be the Emmy presenters because that's how it's going to go down. And I think it's going to, stay tuned because a lot's going to happen. We're going to be having TikToks live from the stage that will be coming out. We have media that will be live streaming interviews from the women coming off stage. Like there is really nothing that we haven't thought of. And what we hope is that the person that comes realizes where the mortgage industry is in its evolution towards modern marketing. And we're gonna set this up during the day of the convention, and it's gonna start from a place where we tell our story of the building of 2020, and we're gonna go on to help them understand the storytelling, marketing that is making social monetary conversion today in 2021, and where our greatest consumer, the millennial, is looking in a digital world. And so we hope we really push the envelope for our attendees to leave with valuable content that they're going to apply to their businesses and grab market share from their competitors. So
awesome. I'm so proud of it. I was lucky enough to be there in 2019, and it was a fabulous event there now. And it sounds like you've continued to fine tune it. Just for our listeners out there, we will put links to the convention, to Christine, as well as her website. You're more than welcome to reach out to her with any questions or learn what he's doing, because the fact of the matter is, and one of the things I've learned is that whether you're new to the industry or trying to retune yourself and adapt, to have a mentor that has walked the walk and talked the talk, it's the way to go. You don't do this industry by yourself. It's a relationship business. Whether it's business to business, loan officer to loan officer, or realtor to loan officer, it's a relationship business. And that's one of the things you've excelled at.
Thank you. I've learned a lot from you. I know you don't need to hear this, but, I try to surround myself with the very best people. We've always stayed connected. We had the pleasure. We knew of each other for years before we worked together. Then we worked together. I mean, you have the same heart that I do. I'm one of those real sales girls that I want to jump and ring the cowbell after I get off a sales call. I've got that kind of vibe where I get pumped up and excited and kind of geeky level, just excited about the idea of man, I just overcame all these objections. I hope that was recorded. I want to play that. And you and I, for many years, had to pass batons in recruiting where you were, talking to people and then I was the handoff. And, we were lockstep, right? I mean, that's how it was. And it took a couple of minutes to say, this is where this person is. This is what their questions are, and this is how, we need to perform. And so you have the same heart. I am so lucky today to be surrounded by so many people. Like, the thing about being in a professional development field now, and I don't want to deter anyone from being in the mortgage business, but I am now surrounded by like-minded people. And so what happens is I've moved from the zoo I was in to a different part of the barn. And where I am is really cool, because everybody that wants to stretch, reach, set goals, show up every day, perform, work out, push each other, help each other. That's my environment. And so I say it all the time, my cup is so full. I don't think I knew until I did this. I have chased prestige and awards and money my whole career, and those things motivated me. I'm competitive. But there was still something missing. And so that's not missing for me anymore. My ROI and fulfillment, I challenge anybody here to do anything, whether it's, take your kids and go to the soup kitchen, or take your kids and do something that teaches them to pay it forward. Because in that moment, self-recognize how that makes you feel. It is absolutely one of the greatest things that you will ever do. Money will not make you feel that way. Trophies will not make you feel that way. And so my dad told me long ago, if I did things for people, that God would provide for me. And so money has always been a byproduct of my purpose. And so I'm really happy to say that that's still my alignment today. And I do have money, but it comes subsequently to my drive.
Yeah, you sleep well at night, I bet, knowing that you've helped so many people. And, I'm one of them, and I'm very thankful. Very thankful.
Coaching is, the good part about that is you do get to give back, and because you're actually helping these folks that people that are willing to invest in themselves and get into a coaching program and do it the right way, and come in and learn from someone who's been in it for 30 years, top performer, won every award you can win in the business, author of 4 books. I mean, you're learning from somebody here, and if you plugging in, and then what you're getting out of that is the ability to watch that person grow from 5 million production a year to 10 to 15 to 20, and see their life change, because their life will change too, because now they're not struggling. Now they can do the things they want to do. They can spend time with their kids because they're learning from you how to manage their time properly in this business. Because as we all know, this business can consume every second of your day if you let it.
Yeah, I would tell you, I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
Yeah, no, I would tell you top performers, 85% of the people that come here are top performers that want to learn to scale themselves out of the trenches, or just be more efficient, find more time, more work-life balance. So they're solving to different problems than you would think. Yes, we can teach people to be better performers production-wise. I will tell you this, and this won't surprise anybody listening, I can kick ass too. So here, when I say that, I mean it in the nicest way. I have always felt that my greatest leaders were people that I respected, that I knew cared about me. And those were the people that when they gave me tough advice or held me accountable to something, I could handle that critique. I could handle that push. And so, I feel like I am that person. I'll show up at your finish line every single time and high five you. Like, if there's a milestone, I will not miss it. I promise you. I lay awake at night. We measure these students, these professionals that are with us in every way, whether it's curriculum, attendance. We actually collect their forecasts, so we watch the trajectory of their growth. I review every single business plan. Of course, I have this, big staff that's doing this. I say this because we have a lot of people, and so does the world, that we're by nature, fickle as human beings. We have gym memberships on January 1, and then by March or April, we're not going to the gym anymore. Not me, I'm going to the gym, but I'm saying people in general aren't going to the gym. And so I'm perfectly aligned to call out people like that. Like I will say, where are you? And they know when I say that I'm saying it from a place like I care, and I'll say, don't give up on yourself, because you can quit if you want to quit. Not that we have I'm going to tell you, we are defying the odds on we had 24 people sign up the first month we opened our doors, and 92% of that group is still here in the middle of year 3. And our numbers, so attrition in the coaching world is about 40%, and we're under 10%. Like
That's
people
amazing.
come, people come and they stay. And so, not to digress, but I guess I would tell you, like, just this week, I kind of called a bunch of people to the mat, and I knew when I did that it would make people uncomfortable, and I knew it would tip them in one or two directions. If you ever want to know who's in your boat, rattle that boat and see who holds on, because here's what you're left with when you're done: all the people that should be in the boat. And I'm okay with whoever falls out of the boat, my boat. If I shake the boat because people aren't paying attention and I lose one or two people, I am okay with that. I never want to lose people, but I would rather be in a boat that's secure with 100% commitment from a rowing team behind me, and I am willing to take the losses in the trenches. So you have to be willing, and that takes an investment mindset. People are always cautious because they don't want any losses, but let me tell you, loss is healthy in business. If you really want to run a really good business, there is addition by subtraction. And anyways, I think that helps me as a coach, because I'm willing to say, okay, I'll let you go, but you're giving up on yourself. Do you want to give up on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to live with yourself. You can quit and not come here, but you still got to look at yourself in the mirror, and you didn't finish what you started. So you tell me, do you want to quit?
Yeah.
Accountability, self-accountability. They're teaching them how to look at themselves, and you got to be honest with yourself.
That's
or you're not going to get anywhere. You can lie all day long and you're not going to get far.
Yeah. And I like accountability too, by the way. Like I put, stakes in the ground all the time. Take a little drink of water. I constantly do what is in my blueprint, which is anchoring. If I'm going to do a goal, I will publicize it. And I hate myself when I have to do it. But I know by doing it, I am assuring a good result.
That's a good idea, actually. You really got accountability.
Exactly. Well, Christine, we know that you're busy. You obviously, I don't know how you fit so much into only 24 hours, and maybe you're lucky you have 48 hours in your day. I don't know, but we really appreciate you joining us today and sharing your wisdom, and best of luck, not only with your event coming up in just a few weeks in Tampa. Perfect, opportunity to go down and learn more about the industry and really get to meet some of the movers and shakers and learn. Good luck with that, and best of luck in continuing to grow your business without a virus inhibiting you.
Well, thank you. And shout out to PRMG and Kevin Peranio and all the guys over there, because I said earlier, Kevin gave me one of my first accounts when I opened my doors here. And I cannot thank the people in the industry enough that came to me sight unseen in the beginning and just put their faith behind me and what I was doing. Kevin was one of those people. I love PRMG. I know you guys have an incredible culture. And I know that now that you're there as well, Jimmy. So anyways, thank you.
Yeah, it's been good. And KP's great, and we're glad that he was able to work it out with you, because and I'm when we get done here, I'm getting my ticket. It looks like I've gotten the last pieces, because now I'm really motivated. So you'll see me. I'll go up do some TikToks.
You heard it here. He just anchored himself. Now he has to come.
I anchored it. It's anchored right there. Yeah. So awesome. Hang on for a second, Christine, and we're gonna go ahead and let everybody go. Get your day back, and if you're in the industry, you need to go on her website. We'll put links below, and get your tickets before they sell out, because I'm getting mine right now. So see ya.
Awesome.